Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Redmen TV and your latest edition of Expert Insight. My name is Dan Clubb. I will be your host for this one as ever. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by Gaetan Coucke for this one, a man who knows Liverpool's new lead physical performance coach, Ruben Peeters, very well. Gaetan, first and foremost, how are you doing, mate? You okay?
I'm okay, thank you.
No, my pleasure. Thanks so much for joining me. It's massively appreciated. I mentioned a moment ago, I believe you spent some time at Genk in the youth system there, whilst Ruben Peeters was there as well. About a year or something you were with him?
Yeah, indeed. And then I joined the first team, and then he was also coming up to the first team. So yeah,
Okay.
indeed. Yeah.
Amazing. So, in that case, then let's start off with what was it like working with him? Quite an open question to begin with. And can you remember much about him? Can you remember many of his methods and how he was he quite hands-on coach? What was he like? He's quite a young man as well, still.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, first he was working in the youth, so it was for him a big step to come to the first team in Genk. Was also different working. Like you coming up to the first team, and then all the big guys are there, and you cannot how you say it, you cannot behave the same than in the youth. So I think it was difficult for him in the first few weeks, but then he made like a shift in his head, and then it worked really good. He did fantastic work on physical side. He was also standing like in the group and not out of the team, so he was really one of us, and that made him a really good guy.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I imagine you've worked with quite a few fitness coaches down the
Yeah,
years. I mean, you're a goalkeeper, we should say as well, right at the top.
yeah.
For you, was his training more specific to goalkeepers? Did he tailor it around what you need? Because obviously, what a goalkeeper needs compared to what a midfielder needs are very different. Was he quite specific and hands-on with you in particular?
Yeah, it was really specific. I think we work with two guys, with Ruben Peeters and was Bram Swin at the moment there. He left the club for I think now in the mid season.
Hmm.
It was really specific. Like you say, I'm a goalkeeper, and it's totally different work that I needed to do than the players, of course. So they worked together to give me a specific program during the year. He did it totally different with goalkeepers than with the players.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's going to be working under Arne Slot, somebody he knows well. Now, Arne Slot's teams have become renowned for not picking up many injuries despite their quite high intensity football, which of course for Liverpool is good news because Liverpool have been quite injury prone, it's fair to say, down the years in
Yeah.
recent times. For you and what you can remember, his focus, was it on injury prevention? Was it on just improving the fitness, or do they kind of come hand in hand a little bit?
Yeah, I think it was hand in hand. Like physical, we grew as a team, and me personally also, I had some problems with my hips. So the focus was on the hips. All the movement in the fitness was to get them loose, like we say. And then physically also, we on the training on the pitch, we did like hard work, like intensive. Not that the training was too long, but it was short but intensive. And then before the training and after the training, we did like with the goalkeepers together, like a fitness program. So it was hard work, but like intensive but short.
Okay, interesting. I
So
mean, you mentioned hard work there. Was it ever fun at all? I mean, we're coming up to pre-season now, which is famous for not being fun for footballers when they get back to it. But did you find his sessions enjoyable as well as being sort of important and good for your development and stuff?
yeah, for sure. It was not like it was like how you say it. How can I say it best in English? It was not like you have to do it. Like
Okay.
you can enjoy it, and you felt better. So that was for me the most important thing. Like after the session, I felt better, and I felt that I was growing in physically, and also like I became much stronger. So when you can feel this as a player, yeah, it's not like a job to do.
No, absolutely. Yeah. If you can feel the benefits and you feel like something's
Of course,
working,
yeah,
absolutely,
that's
100%.
it.
Yeah. I mentioned there we're coming up towards pre-season now, obviously a very important time for somebody like Ruben Peters in his job role. Just on sort of his sessions, you've already kind of alluded to it, but just how detailed was he and how sort of his preparation, his planning, was it all ready to go for you? Very professional, even at that young age, working with yourself as a youngster. Could you tell that this was somebody who really studied and really knew what he was doing?
Yeah, you can see it from the beginning that he knew what he was doing. It was all with data, and it was totally new at that time. Now it's like growing year by year. Like data is very important in football right now, but at the moment was the first time I saw it, that it was so important with all the numbers and stuff. He had it on his iPad during training. He was sitting next to the pitch and he was checking all the data and. If one player didn't had the meters he had to do that day, then he just had to run after training. Simple as that. And that was for me at that time totally new.
Yeah, well, was he quite ahead of his time then in that case? And in
Yeah.
terms of how he delivered the sessions, you've just said there he made people run after if they hadn't done enough. Was he quite strict or was he quite laid back? Or was it a case of if you weren't putting the yards in, he was going to make you go again?
Yeah, it's what I said in the beginning. In the beginning of that year, he came from the youth, so it was difficult to say to, for example, a big player at that time, you have to run after training. It was really difficult to say it, but then after weeks and weeks, he came like in the group, and then he had a totally different behavior, and then the people just did it by themselves because he was a good guy for him. Mm-hmm. So he had to, the player has to do good for Ruben as well. So that made the difference, I think.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, he sort of grew into the role a little bit and people respected him clearly. Okay,
exactly,
interesting.
Exactly.
He's going to be working with big players at Liverpool. He's going to have to tell Virgil van Dijk, Mohamed Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold what to do. I mean, I guess in that case, he won't fear that. He'll be relishing that opportunity.
Yeah, of course. I think he's ready for that. He had so much experience with good players also in Feyenoord. So I think he's totally ready for Liverpool.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, you said a moment ago about the use of the data and stuff like that. I mean, that's commonplace now in football, of course, when it comes to fitness, when it comes to everything, to be honest with you. Statistics, it's just everywhere, isn't it?
Exactly.
Was he quite innovative then? You mentioned it was the first time you'd ever seen it. I think he uses like the catapult vest now, obviously data. Was he, as I say, ahead of his time in his methods and his techniques? Could you tell he was a forward thinker?
Yeah, for sure. At that time, no, I don't know because everyone is growing in this. But at that time, for sure, yeah, he was the first, I think, in Genk who did it with the iPad on training and with all the stuff like the catapult vest every time. It was also a different catapult vest for goalkeepers and for the players. We could see our load during training, so we knew exactly what to do day before the training, day after training, that we can play with the load of the goalkeepers. And it was also nice to see the goalkeeper coach just adapting his training on the data of the catapult vest. So that was really something new for me at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I take it from everything you said, you enjoyed working with him then, you enjoyed your time and you felt you got the benefit and you were a better goalkeeper and you were better equipped after working with him?
Yeah, for sure. I think with the two guys I mentioned before, with Ruben and Bram as well, it was really focused on the goalkeepers and the players. They were like a different thing. So that was for me very good because I always had in my head goalkeeper training is totally different. We do like really intensive training, but shorter, not like basic running and stuff. We just dive and recuperation. So it was the first time I think that they really separate the both things. So that was really good.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, and just finally then, Gaetan, what can the Liverpool squad expect from Ruben Peeters then? If any of them are watching this right now, what should they be looking forward to or not looking forward to when it comes to Ruben Peeters? Like you've said, in terms of a personal level as well. Is he approachable? Can you have a conversation with him outside of football and that?
Yeah, for sure. He's a really good guy. He's really, I think, like all the Flemish guys in Belgium, like really with both feet on the ground, like really easy guy. So you can have a share with him, you can have a coffee with him, whatever it need to be after training. He's really kind. He's really good in what he does. So I think they can expect a lot from him. When you respect him, he always gonna respect you, so that's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I take it you'll be keeping an eye on Liverpool and seeing how he's getting on and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Top man. Gaetan, thank you so much for your time. Massively appreciate it. Everybody else, I'll see and speak to you all again very soon. Take it easy.